What is up, everybody? It is Monday night. It is Living Force time. We got a great show for you, all about your questions. It's going to be very fun, very laid back, and it all begins with a man from Texas and his desire to punch it. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Living Force, the Youtini Network podcast, all about your questions tonight. I'm one of your hosts, Eric Eilerson, and joining me is the full crew of friendship. That's right. It's just friends here, except for you. But first, it's Dr. Corey Helton. Hey, man. Hi.
Wow. Were you talking to me or somebody else?
No, I was talking to a random audience member. They know who they are. Or
God,
do
like,
they?
We're not friends. Dr. Corey Helton. It's like, ouch, man, that kind of hurts.
No, we are lovely friends. I watched your whole YouTube video this morning while I was brushing my teeth.
Hell yeah. It's a long... You brush your teeth for like 7 minutes? It's a long time,
No,
bro.
it was flossing was involved. Yeah, I watched, if y'all missed a couple weeks ago, Corey has a Doc and Mental YouTube channel where he and his amazing, better than him wife are making a trailer, and they put up a video this morning all about flooring, and I watched the whole damn thing. Flooring!
Good, I'm glad.
Flooring!
But you're enjoying it.
I'm having a great time, but I'm having an even better time now that Dr. Charles Hankel is here with that glorious natural lighting. Look at that.
What's going on, everybody? Can I tell a quick story? You guys know this story, but our audience doesn't know this story. I moved recently. I think we talked about this on the show. And at all the apartments in my building, there's a little shelf outside the front door, and people put little potted plants on it. My neighbor, who's a little bit out there, has a pink flamingo on it. And I was going to the gym earlier today. Someone had a plush baby Grogu, a baby Yoda, on their shelf. And I was like, I'm coming back. I'm coming back for you. I went home. I got one of my Youtini stickers, which I think you can still get on our
Oh,
website.
absolutely not. There's no way.
No, they're not there. Don't
Not the
go
old
look for
school
them.
ones.
I still have some, clearly. And I wrote our information on the back of it, and I went back and I put that little sticker in Baby Grogu's hand, and there's the picture. And if you're listening in the future, welcome. I'm glad it worked out.
You live by Charles. For now. Well done. That's awesome. And I'm always one for good plugs. Always one for branding, especially to like-minded fans that maybe won't be weird in your building. So congratulations. But the largest congratulations goes to you, Charles, goes to you, Corey, to me, and to everyone watching the video show, listening to the audio, who is lucky enough to bear the witness of Wes Jenkins, who's still here. What's up, dude?
Like I said, every episode, you outdo yourself every single time. Way to go, Eric. These transitions are the best. Hello,
Episode
everyone.
1000 is just going to be such drastic hyperbole. It's going to be like...
Yeah, but please keep them coming.
You got it. Well, you're here. We're all here. You're here watching. A lot of comments in the chat already about my shirt. If you're an audio listener, I'm wearing my Clone Wars shirt today. I believe I got this at Her Universe on a clearance sale at some point, but it had Rex, Ahsoka, Anakin, Obi-Wan. And weirdly, like, oh, this isn't the... Oh, yeah, Yoda also. Because they're like, Yoda's the star of the Clone Wars show, if you've never seen it. But anyway, everyone, welcome. And tonight, as we said at the top, it's an all-questions show. We just had our two-part Rising Storm roundtable, which I absolutely loved and left me devastated. So we decided what better way to kind of jack up the energy again than by answering questions from you, our listeners and our viewers. We got questions on Discord, on Twitter, on email, all these things. So we're going to be chatting about what you want to hear. And we haven't read them all yet, so fingers crossed. But before we get into all that, Corey, we have an announcement to make that people have been waiting in the community for like over a year.
Yeah.
What happened?
Very long time. Very long time. So we, long story short, we are releasing the third iteration of the Youtini bookshelf, the software.
Woo!
That's right. Woo!
Woo!
Yay!
Yay!
Oh my God. What does
That's
this
it.
do? Oh, there we go.
Oh,
that one
that's so
kind of
much
applies.
better.
Yeah, so we're releasing the third iteration of the Youtini Bookshelf, which is a software that we've built several times over the years to allow people to track their Star Wars books. Now, the last versions that we had on the website were a little clunky, was pretty hacky, didn't really work super well. Yeah, McClunky, yes. And so we have been kind of scratching our heads to try to figure out what the best solution for this is going forward. And we have built a new one. We, as in really Emma, built the whole thing pretty much
Emma
by
Park.
herself. Yeah, continues to be the absolute MVP of Youtini.com, and she's really outdone herself. So the bookshelf is live right now. We built it on a platform called Coda. I can show it to you here in just a second. You can find it by going to our website, Youtini.com/bookshelf, and we have like some good tutorials on here about how to set it up. We talk about Coda a little bit, and we show you all about how to use it. Now, this bookshelf is a little different than other bookshelves that we've had before in that it allows you to really do a lot of customization, because Coda is essentially like a note-taking app that we use at Youtini all the time, every single day. Our entire company is managed inside of Coda, and it actually has a really cool like table database system inside of it that allows you to really do some cool stuff. So let me show you kind of what we got here. So here is this is a version of the Youtini bookshelf. This is just the canon books. And you see across the top there are different pages. So you can go into the My Books section. You can have a look at like adult novels. Let's see what else you want to see. Young adult novels would be good. And then we're going to select unmarked. Then look at the cover view. Now you can like mark all your books as read. You can mark them as read. You can mark them as owned. It's really rad. You can like really do a lot of cool stuff. And because this is a document that you own, like it totally belongs to you. It's like having an Excel document or something. You can do whatever you want to with it. If you want to create pages and create notes about books that you're reading, any of that kind of stuff, you have really unlimited amount of customization, which you've really never had before with any versions of the Youtini bookshelf. So I'm super excited to get this thing out. There's some really good tutorials on there. The learning curve is a little bit there. It's a little harder to use than other iterations of the app, but I don't know. I kind of figure that folks that want to like track their Star Wars reading in detail are kind of nerds anyway. So, just like the rest of us. So check it out. Youtini.com/bookshelf. Go play with it.
Yeah. And again, another just wondrously massive congratulations to our very own Emma, who was so key in getting that together over the last year. And I will admit, Coda is something that Corey brought to us a while back. We changed the entirety of Youtini over to Coda, and there were growing pains, aka I hated it. That's the pain. I was the pain, and then I had to grow. And if I can figure out Coda, anyone can. And if you want it, like you said, link is also in the doobly-doo below. Wes has been great with all those descriptions, so check that out. Get your own collection going, and once you have your collection all set, share that in the Youtini Discord. Go into the collections tab. Let us see screenshots of your own bookshelf. Let us see things. Let's share with other people. Flaunt your shelves. That's what we all love doing, right? So congratulations, everyone that made it so. We hope you all enjoy it. Next up, something that we enjoy is our Patreon community and our lovely patrons. And we want to say thank you to Zach E., who joined our Patreon this week almost just in time, for our Patreon event. That is, again, coming up August 20th, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. The 4/5 of us with Tim met this week. We got the details out of what's going on next Friday. Guys, do we want to give like a sneak peek of what people can, I guess, maybe kind of expect from their hard-earned Patreon dollars that you may subscribe anytime before the event starts next Friday.
That's right. I mean,
what are we doing?
An unfiltered event. There's going to be copious amounts of alcohol involved.
Alcohol, language.
Yes, and I'm almost scared to find out what I'm going to look like after not drinking since January.
Right.
So,
and as Wes told us right before the show, he may die from this event, so that's good.
That might be it.
It might be the final one. So we're gonna have a drunk trivia night. Timothy has been kind enough to. He is going to host the trivia questions. We bought a version of what is it? Trivial Pursuit?
The Trivial Pursuit, yeah.
We bought Trivial Pursuit off of eBay the other night and mailed it to Tim, and we're gonna have a giant game of drunk trivia. We're putting some work into it too. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So.
Yep. And also, I will say, I saw this on Patreon. It was great. Tim went into the All Patrons channel. So if you haven't been in Discord in a while, he did ask all of our patrons for suggestions on questions. So if you are a patron, go into that all patrons Patreon channel, check it out, then DM Tim, because we don't want to see anything. We, like on this show, are going to be drastically underprepared. So make sure you tell Tim questions, and the harder or more fun they are, the more we will suffer. And isn't that what you pay your money for?
And
right.
Corey is starting. Corey is starting early right now.
right.
And yes, Cheryl, we will be saying fudge all night long.
All the fudges, all the gun darks.
Not a family-friendly event. Let's just go ahead and say that.
True.
If you put it on in front of your, Sunday
Your
school
kids,
children,
they're gonna learn something.
They are gonna learn something.
And I'm going to be the teacher.
Oh, well, you know who should be the teacher of this next segment is Charles. Teach us about our patron of the week. Who do we got?
All right, patron of the week this week is none other than Josiah Clark. And Josiah says, hello, the Living Force podcast. My name is Josiah, and I am from Ohio. Star Wars was first introduced to me by my dad at a young age. Eventually, I needed more than just those movies and had to learn more about a galaxy far, far away. I clearly remember picking up the Young Boba Fett books in my school's library, which gave me my first taste of the expanded universe. I stopped reading Star Wars books as my interest expanded, but I never forgot how enjoyable those books were. It wasn't until early 2020 that I finally decided to get back into Star Wars books. This led me to the Living Force when I frantically searched for anyone who was talking about the first Alphabet Squadron novel. I realized that Youtini was something special from that first roundtable. Mm-hmm. I chose to be a patron because I believe in the much-needed positive fan community that Youtini fosters. Listening to the Living Force has deepened my love for Star Wars and has given me a positive outlook that has allowed me to introduce the movies and the expanded media to some of my closest friends. My favorite Star Wars story is definitely the final arc of the Clone Wars series. I was the perfect age to see the Clone Wars the Clone Wars movie in theaters in 2008. I watched every single episode of the series when they aired on Friday nights on Cartoon Network. While I loved the movies, the Clone Wars was what Star Wars truly was to me as a kid. The story seemed to mature with me, which gave me an even deeper connection with the show, and I was heartbroken with its cancellation in 2013. The final arc of the series in 2020 was the exact closure I needed for a show that I love so dearly, and I will never forget the emotion when I watched it for the first time. My question for the hosts: Star Wars has a lot of unique concepts and characters that sometimes end up being explored in other media. What part of the Skywalker saga would you want to be explored in more depth in other media?
That is a great,
phenomenal question.
Yeah. And before we answer it, though, I really got kind of emotional as you read that, Charles. I didn't expect to. Like, Josiah, your talk about finding Youtini and then having that like give you the joy to like talk to your friends about Star Wars and like great like that's. I sometimes forget to talk so much about the reason why we do this, and that is literally it. And that it's
absolutely.
We do the show, and I love you guys, and I love everyone that watches our shows and listens to it, and like that reads the articles. But man, the fact that some of y'all are finding this community that fills you with that passion, you want to spread that joy to those that you care about, and then they spread it to someone, like it's a shatter point, if you will.
Oh my gosh.
Of positivity, and that means a lot. So thank you.
I like the bit that he says too about how he kind of grew up and aged with the Clone Wars, and it's cool because I feel that way. I assume you guys feel that way about like the prequel films when they were coming out. People are still feeling that way today, probably with the Bad Batch, with the Mandalorian. Yeah. Like it's fantastic that people are still having that experience.
100%. All right.
Phenomenal
now the question.
What part of the Skywalker saga would you want to be explored in more depth in other media? I have an immediate answer. Like
go.
Wes, I hope I'm not like stealing this from you because I know Rey's your favorite character. I am such a sucker for continuity, like continuing a story, right? And I really want to know what the heck happens with Rey and the purpose of the Jedi and the Jedi Order, and like we will eventually get that story, right? It's not this. It's just. No Star Wars is like untouchable, right? Like anything can be told, and they got to give it a couple years, maybe even a long time, maybe even a decade or something crazy like that. But like, I really want to know how the Jedi Order is like rebuilt. Like, what is old Grandmaster Rey like? Like, I mean, that's
what medium do you want?
Oh man, I mean, Something like the High Republic would be awesome, like with a giant,
like doing books or comics.
yeah,
that
like
kind of
all
deal.
of it. Yeah, like an initiative. Like this is the
Oh,
future of
cool.
Star Wars, right? Like it's
Ooh.
like 30 years
Yeah.
down the road, well after anybody we know is alive. Like it's just
In
you know.
universe, not like in the world.
no. I'll be dead.
After
to be
human race is
clear.
dead.
Yeah. That's right.
That's great. That's great. I also have one that sprung up. If I can jump in immediately.
Oh, all right. I mean, sure.
Yeah, I do. I do. No, Wes. Wes, tell me. I'm drinking my White Claw. You know?
This is going to be funny when Wes doesn't have an answer.
Yeah,
yet.
right. So I'm gonna go completely opposite of you, Corey, but with Rey in the theme. So the ancient Jedi texts. Let's say we have a story or a group of books that gives us the origin or the beginning of those Jedi texts. Because remember when we were talking about those books when we were doing the reference books episode, and there was a book that had 2 bindings in it because it was being added on. Like, who was adding on to that? Like, where did they put in that
Ooh,
into
yeah.
those secrets for the Jedi, and who did that? Like, and all those years and years and years and decades
Yeah.
and millennia, I guess, that
that's
have put
cool.
those together. So that's something I'd like to look into.
I like that. I'm gonna go again another completely different direction, which is why this question is so much fun, right? I'm gonna go prequel era, and I'm gonna say the medium I want this to happen is a video game. And it's inspired by the upcoming Hogwarts Legacy game where like you make a wizard and you go through the 7 years of Hogwarts. I want that
Oh my
game,
God.
but you're Anakin. And you
Wow.
go through Anakin's Padawan training, playing as him and leveling up throughout the game.
How
So-
soon do you turn
Murder
into Darth
children.
Vader? Do you turn into him when you're 7, or do you turn into him when you're 17?
Yeah, exactly. Because
Oh,
it's
man.
like that moment, right? Where like we were talking about it last episode or something, where we're like, there's so much space between episodes 1 and 2
Yeah.
where we don't have content, and how cool
Yeah.
it to play as Anakin and experience those story beats as you become more
That
powerful as a
would-
student.
You
So
would learn a lot about people playing that
Yeah,
game. I think.
course.
Like,
Yep.
yeah,
How many
I had to
Padawans
be-
can I
had to
kill?
be
It's like,
evil.
stop
I
it.
had to do this. Like,
Like there's like a press X to trip, little Josiah over here.
Yeah.
Sorry,
But, like,
Josiah.
You know? But, like, what classes? Like, do you go to class with, like Master Sinube? Do you like go to class with Yoda? Like, that'd be cool.
yeah.
Like the Sims.
I like that. Yeah, exactly.
Sims. I love
Charles,
the
what do you
Sims.
think, man?
I'm gonna stay on brand for myself here. I'm gonna stay in the prequel era too. You guys know I want something pod racing. Like I need it.
Right.
Yeah.
I would love like a redo of the whole like Shadows of the Empire. Like give me a novel that ties into a video game and all that stuff. Like a soundtrack. I want all of it. I need more pod racing. Everyone loves it. There's no reason
Yeah.
not to.
That's
Let's
right.
do
Yep.
this.
Nobody dislikes the pod racing scene in Phantom Menace. Like everybody's always like, "Oh, the Canto Bite scene is so dumb in The Last Jedi," but nobody says that about the pod racing scene
Yeah.
in Phantom Menace because it's phenomenal. It's the best part
It's
of the
so
movie.
fun.
It was
It's so cool.
revolutionary too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And now with like use like the Forza engine and do like the ultra realistic vehicles and like
Oh my
can you imagine
God.
like having surround sound Dolby headphones and having the pod racer like sounds vibrating in your head.
Or VR.
Whoa,
Yes.
VR pod racing.
And then you're in your living room just going like, ah! Ah!
More like just projectile vomiting from the Disney
Oh my God.
that you have from
That'd be
pod
terrible.
racing.
Running into your TV.
You remember those goofy like vests that I shared with you guys a couple weeks
Yeah,
ago?
the
They have
haptic
like the
feedback
bass and
vests.
stuff. Yeah. Can you imagine being in Saboba's like pod racer? You're just sitting in your gaming chair like.
Okay. So yeah, one of those. Thank you for the question, Josiah. And to everyone else in our Patreon community, thank you so much. If you want to join in the fun, head over to youtini.com/Patreon or patreon.com/Youtini. You still got just about a week and a half before our Patreon event. So join up, and again, keep your eyes out for Tim's message on how you can be our next patron of the week, or head to our All Patrons Discord channel to throw in some questions that we're going to have to answer in a little bit. All right, now it is time for our shortest ever Star Wars Weekly Roundup. Do we have the thing?
Star Wars Weekly Roundup.
Ba-da-na. Ba-da-na. Now, this is a weird one for us, everyone, on the Star Wars Weekly Roundup, because as you may know, we had a Thursday show. And between Thursday and Monday, not a ton of news. Bad Batch happened. That was awesome. Go check out Bounty Hunt. But we do have one thing we have to announce this week. Wes, what is it?
Okay, so we have on our hands for the past month is the Rising Storm by Kevin Scott out of print variant cover version. And we're giving that away to a lucky subscriber, a lucky commenter from YouTube. But we're not only get the book, not only get the book, but you also get the tote that comes with it. So we are going to spin the wheel right now of all the names that were entered, and we're going to announce the winner here shortly. Corey, if you could spin that wheel.
I don't know that all my sound effects come through the
It's okay. We'll do the sound for it. Just spin it.
Wait, is that the pod racer again, or is this the wheel? Here we go. And the winner is... That's what I got. Be nasty.
Be nasty.
Be nasty. Is he in our chat? He usually is, but he might not be.
More like be a winner.
Yeah, congratulations, Be Nasty. So all you gotta do is send us a direct message, and I'll get your information, and I will have it shipped out to you this week.
We promise not to steal your identity.
Correct. I'll send you a DM after the show too. So
yeah.
But congratulations, man.
Woo! Yeah, we're gonna try to do that more.
Yeah, make sure you post a pic of when you get it.
Yes, please.
Marketing.
So congratulations. And again, not all exclusive covers, because as you can see next to me, some books have many exclusive covers, and we're not going to give away all of them, but keep your eyes peeled for more giveaways. And if you didn't win this one, that's okay, because guess what? There's a ton more Star Wars coming up that you get to buy yourself, including this Wednesday, we have the Monster of Temple Peak #1 from IDW Comics. On August 31st, we have the High Republic Tempest Runner, the audio drama with the full cast. And September 7th, we have the Life Day Treasury and the Edge of Balance manga. So plenty of Star Wars coming up and plenty of dogs that are very excited about it. Check out our new releases page at Youtini.com. And of course, now, once you buy those things, you can add them to your Youtini bookshelf. Look at that. All right, Charles, back to you for 2 really lovely written book reviews this week, if you would be so kind.
Sure. Yeah. So the first one we have here is from Angelia, who I think was one of our new listeners, or live listeners rather, at the last bounty hunt that we had.
That's right.
Yes.
And Angelia read The Clone Wars No Prisoners by Karen Travis and gave it 5 stars, called it entertaining, thought-provoking, and an all-around amazing book. And let's see, Angelia goes on to say, this book has everything I want out of a Clone Wars era Star Wars book. Battles, amazing characters, and thought-provoking questions that ultimately have no right answer. Travis tackles philosophical questions such as the Jedi's view of attachment and the moral question of the clone's existence. We see how different leaders such as Anakin and Rex view their troops and the conflicts they face when their men die. It was fun seeing Captain Paleon in the infamous Thrawn from the infamous Thrawn trilogy. I definitely wasn't expecting that. Her characterization of him was spot on. In fact, her characterization of all Star Wars regulars was spot on. One of the best Star Wars books I've read in terms of proper characterization. I particularly enjoyed her interpretation of Captain Rex. Travis was able to emphasize his stoic, strong nature while still emphasizing his deep devotion and love for the men he commands. He is one of my favorite characters in the entire Star Wars universe, and in my opinion, deserves more books from his point of view. This is the only one I know of, but I would love more. There seem to be Legends books that are considered, well, legends among legends, if you will, essential reads. While I've only been reading Star Wars literature for a little under a year, thanks mostly to this site, by the way, and I know that's not a long time, I still think it's strange that I have yet to hear anyone talk about this book. In my opinion, it deserves to be considered one of the essential reads for anyone interested in Legends and Clone Wars era literature. This was one of my favorite Star Wars books so far, and I'm amazed that it has not gotten more attention. Even though this book's no longer canon, I still highly recommend it, especially if you're a fan of the Clone Wars or the prequel era of Star Wars. Well done. Indeed.
Excellent.
So,
dang, I gotta buy this.
Well thought out review.
It's a Rex book. What am I doing?
I know. Seriously.
Yeah. It goes with your shirt.
That's right, my
Your
boy. My boy.
Karen Travis is arguably the best, like clone trooper writer, I think. Like the whole Republic Commando series is phenomenal too. Also,
Yeah.
I didn't realize this. Okay, you guys know I watched Attack of the Clones the other night, right? So I kind of split it
Yes.
over 2 nights, and I watched the second half like night before last. And on like right as the gunships land on Geonosis, like after they picked everybody up, and they're like, and Mace Windu's like, land in that assembly area, like right after that scene,
Yeah.
right? So he jumps out of the gunship, and this clone commander runs up to him and says, General Windu, we have 5 special elite clone commandos waiting for your instruction. Like he has to be talking about like the clone commandos from the that game, Republic Commando.
The video
Republic
game?
Commando.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it has to be because there's 5 of them,
Commando.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've never realized that
Squad.
before. But he runs up to him. It's like, hey, we have 5 specialty commando units waiting for your instruction. I was like, bro, every single
That's
time I watch
awesome.
him, I learn something new. It's crazy.
I love that. All right, and also, if you guys don't know, those Clone Wars books are nearly impossible to get in hardcover. I've been trying to find the Wild Space one for years. They go for like $150 a piece in hardcover. So I'm gonna try to get that one, but I do want to read that one. Angelia, thank you. You've absolutely convinced me on that one. Can't wait. What's our next one? What do we got?
All right. So, Wesley, would you like to read our
Yes.
second one from
Yes.
Bree123?
Wesley.
Okay, so the next review is from Bree123, and this person read Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule and gave it 5 stars. Whoa, just whoa. So here I am at the start of the High Republic, the farthest back you could possibly go in the canon Star Wars verse as of now. When I was looking into this, I initially thought that The Light of the Jedi was a comic, which is what I usually read. So on finding out that it was a novel, and a fat one at that, I actually ruled it out since I don't read novels
Thick ass boy.
at all. However, after hearing enough about it, I decided to give it a shot. So even if you don't usually find yourself reading big books either, I'll just say that all you need to get through this is love of Star Wars. It's gripping in the beginning, engaging in the middle, and clearly rehooks you again at the end in such a way that makes it hard for even novel newcomers to resist spending more money on High Republic related content. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Even with a brand new set of characters we don't know, with the exception of a slightly younger Yoda, and everything being set in a whole other time period of the Jedi and the Republic than we're familiar with, the book still paves the way for immediate immersion in what's going on and who's involved. For me, Light of the Jedi has also changed a lot of how I think about the Force in terms of what a Jedi can use it to do. Avar with her Force communication, and Buryaga in the way he's able to sense emotion, and how reaching out to it works. Bel Zettifar viewing it as heat and flame. It's so interesting to get these perspectives from all these characters while reading in a format where you're hopping in between different locations as everything progresses. And although you're constantly jumping to other places throughout the story, it all comes together to form such a whole cohesive picture that by the time you reach the end, things take such a turn to a point where you're just begging for more. I love how you didn't spoil that. Way to go.
Right? Well done.
I'm learning from other people. And of course, the new characters we get introduced to are unlike any characters that we've encountered till now in Star Wars. The connections, interactions, and experiences they have with each other are written really well, and you can tell that they're intended to carry over into whatever happens next. I'm super glad that I chose Light of the Jedi as my first canon Star Wars book, and I can't wait to dive into the rest of the High Republic because of it. Serves as a great foundation for a new era. It's definitely hot fire quality stuff.
Hot
Wow.
fire.
Hot fire.
Fantastic
Yeah, and
description at
first
the very
canon
end.
book. How awesome
Yeah.
is that?
First canon book. It's probably one of the best ones that you can pick up outside of maybe Lost Stars, and so
For real.
good choice.
So excellent reviews. Again, sometimes we get some short reviews, sometimes you get some lengthy, like cool written reviews. And if you want any book that you've read to be featured on this show, look it up on Youtini on the book profile, scroll down to the bottom, add a star rating, add your review, and maybe we'll just read it on this very show. Whew. Before we go to break, one thing we forgot to mention that OK Undar reminded us of in the chat. If you're watching us live, tomorrow, Tuesday, August 10th, the out-of-print edition of Thrawn Ascendancy Greater Good, remember that book, is coming out tomorrow. It says on the site right now at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes it's between 10 and 11, but right now it says more near 10:30. If you're in our Discord, keep your eyes open. Our Discord folks get these editions and keep everyone posted when they're dropping. Go to outofprint.com. This is not an affiliate, just a heads up. it's got red pages, and Thrawn looks like Mac Daddy awesome shoulder pads. So, trademarked.
They also have great shirts. So if you're
Yes.
looking for the book, check out their shirts. I already bought 3 of them. So and they fit really well, Corey. So you might want to check them on too.
Yeah, I have my doubts. Okay.
Might be a little better there. But yes, as we said in the chat, there are limited to 750 copies.
Woo!
So I'm going to be in the office and very strategically taking a long bathroom break somewhere around there to get that book. Good luck to all of you as a reminder. All right, now we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into your questions. Let's see what happens. Hi, everyone. Oh, welcome back. All right. It is time, everyone, to jump into the mailbag, as it were. We got a bunch of questions from a bunch of great listeners, and we're just going to go round robin style. We got them in a list. If we don't get to your question tonight, we're sorry. We did get a lot, so we will keep them all if we don't get through them and do them in a future episode. But let's see. Charles, why don't you head over to our Google Doc and tell us what number you're picking so we can read along with you and start us off.
It's the question show.
Oh!
Well, thank you guys for stalling for about 10 seconds. I did have the doc already pulled up, though, but thank you.
You probably had to convert it
great.
into Microsoft Word.
Yes, I did do that. So I'm going to choose question number 7, which is from Cheryl Bell.
Hey, Cheryl.
And Cheryl wants to know, what is it about your all-time favorite Star Wars character that cemented them as your favorite? And she says, let's say they have to be in live action. And she wants to know, when did they become your all-time favorite? So,
yeah.
Who wants to take this?
I mean, you want to start this one off? I think everyone knows what your answer is.
Yeah, I think I've answered this question. I'm happy to answer it again, Cheryl. I've done this a few times on the show. My favorite character is Obi-Wan Kenobi, specifically like Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan Kenobi. Why? I feel like he's the ultimate Jedi. I feel like he has a super tragic tale, but also triumphant as well. And he always just, even though he makes mistakes, he kind of always owns up to it and kind of faces the consequences and is true to himself and what he's supposed to do, or what he thinks he's supposed to do as a Jedi. And I find that really admirable and something that I think we can all take a lesson on in how we live our real lives. And as far as when did he become my all-time favorite? So it was during, the prequels. I thought he was so cool when I watched The Phantom Menace. Like when he fought Darth Maul in one, spoiler alert, I was like, yo, this is my guy. And he just got better and better as a Jedi and had better and better hair. So I was like, yeah,
he did.
This is my dude right here.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, Attack of the Clones hair wasn't that great, right?
Yeah, especially I will say when he had shaved his beard and they had to put the fake beard on for a few scenes, and it looks like just real. I'm not even say what it really looks like. It looks like they like shaved a dog and like glued it onto his face.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Stay tuned for our Attack of the Clones commentary when Charles will point that out for you. My easy answer for this is Luke Skywalker, and it's the second that he ignites that green lightsaber in Return of the Jedi. Just did it for me. But I'm going to go with a more fun answer because it's a question show. And I'll say why I love Bail Organa so much. And it's because, and I thought about this, because Bale doesn't show up that much, right? He's in the prequels a bit. He's fine. Speaking of guys who could have a lot better hair later on, like he's got like that damp hair in Attack of the Clones. Not a fan.
He's played by 2 different people.
Yeah. But it's in Rogue One, and the entrance is great. Everything he says is great. It's the moment where he's turning around and he says to Mon Mothma, he's like, I would trust her with my life. It's that moment when I'm like, Bale doesn't care the age or status of anyone he's dealing with, and especially those he loves. He respects people based on who they are. He loves them for what they represent. And I'm like, he believes in Leia more than I believe in anything. And I'm like, how inspiring that is, that he already knows that she's the future of this rebellion he's been trying to build forever. So that's when I fell in love with Bale.
Man, that's a heavy
Corey,
answer.
yeah, Corey kind of spoiled Mun earlier, but my favorite character is Rey. I love the Rey from Nowhere story. I still hold on to it. I don't kind of buy into the fact that she's a Palpatine, even though she is, but I go along with it. But I still love the Rey from Nowhere story.
It's fine.
Yeah. But mostly because of her theme music. And she really won me over when she met Luke Skywalker on Octu, when she was in that gray outfit, and she walked up and handed it to him, and there was just like no dialogue. So good, so good. But yeah, because I mean, obviously she's all the Jedi, so she's better than everybody.
But dude, yeah, that look she has when she just holds it out to Luke, and it's that total vulnerability, that like,
exactly.
Here we go. It's a beautiful.
Of not knowing what's going to happen. I mean, this is what you've risked your life for the past however many years, and then throws it over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Your turn, Corey.
Corey likes Porkins. Next question.
As crazy as it is, I'm not even sure if we've ever really talked about this on this show before. I truly do not think that I have a favorite character of Star Wars. Like, there is just
I buy that.
There's so many characters that I really, really just enjoy seeing on screen. Like, I really get a lot of, every time Boba Fett shows up is always really cool. Like, Luke Skywalker gets me really excited. But there's just like, I don't know that there's just one character that I just hero worship, really. I mean,
is there one that you remember of us, even if it's not your favorite? Like, was there a moment you remember being like, oh, that character? Like,
Malak-Healy? Is that what it was?
He taught me men could cry at a young age.
I mean, you guys have heard me talk a lot about the Dagobah stuff from Empire. Is just like some of my favorite. The dynamics between like Luke and Yoda. Like, I really love those versions of both of those characters, but I don't know. The thing about Star Wars is like the timelines are so long. There are both really good and really bad versions of virtually every character in Star Wars. like Luke Skywalker is such a fantastic character, but Tashi Station Luke Skywalker is like the worst. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
So,
we all have to suck before we're great.
That's right. I was going to Tashi Station because of power converters. Yeah,
Totally fair.
That's my impression. Do you like that?
That's really good.
Yeah, well, Corey, because of that non-answer, you got to pick our next question.
All right,
Where are we going next?
I have another one. So, like, what do you want the rules to be? Do we want to not use the same person like multiple times?
Well,
or, like,
if you did multiple characters, we might go back to you. Some people did multiple. We probably won't do 2 in a row.
Okay,
That's it.
okay. Let's see. I had 2 of them that I really wanted to choose. I want more. Okay.
Ooh.
All right. I'm going to use question number 14. This is from Marshy Harish Rowe. I like that.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah. So question 14 says, how would you include Rose Tico in further Star Wars stories? Right. So
aggressively.
Yes. Aggressively.
That's the answer.
Listen, we talk a lot about positivity and stuff on this show, and we're not like, I think the difference between us when we talk about positivity versus like, we're not like, what's the word? What did it say? Just shills. We're not like shills.
Yeah,
for
we don't
positivity,
ignore the
right?
flaws of stuff.
Yes, we don't ignore the flaws of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Rose Tico has some flaws, and like some of the criticism of her character is justified, but like the human element of Rose Tico being Kelly Marie Tran or getting bullied off of social media and all this kind of crap, like, you know, first and foremost, Star Wars is about people. It's about creators. It's about artists. It's about actors and actresses. Like, it's about people, right? Star Wars is about people. So the way that Kelly Marie Tran was treated in the sequel trilogy is unforgivable in my eyes. It really is, both by the fan community and by the creative community at Lucasfilm that totally screwed her out of a role in The Rise of Skywalker. It's unacceptable. Still to this day, I will die on this hill. Like, I do not believe that the way that they treated her was right. I'm still mad about it. Like, I can get behind all the canon decisions in Rise of Skywalker. I'm still pretty upset that they bullied Kelly Marie Tran the way they did. So how can we redeem her story? This is very interesting to me. I would love to see Rose Tico as a like Lando Calrissian type of general in Star Wars storytelling, right?
Yeah.
Like she shows up way later after, and people know like the Rose. You're the Rose. You know what I mean? Like she did Finn. Yeah, that would be fantastic.
I would love that.
Like let her go on to be a Princess Leia type legacy, right? Where she was involved in the rebuilding of the New Republic. Like, I mean, her story could really be redeemed very well, I think, in the expanded universe of the books and comics and that sort of thing. And I hope they do it one day. I hope she gets her justice, because I really do feel like she was slighted, and I would love to see her come back around as a fan favorite, right? Like, it's one of the best things ever when they take a character that people dislike and like turn her into a fan favorite. So.
Yeah, she really deserves more screen time. So she could be in any number of things. It doesn't even have to be like what you said, Corey, like as a general, but a some kind of high-ranking officer within the New Republic would be perfect. Right. And then really just put the story all around her. She's the one giving the order, and then something goes wrong, and she has to go in to fix the issue because she's the only one that knows about it because they made her study all those books.
I know.
At the very end of that movie, you know? So that would be really cool.
I mean, we think about it at the end of Rise of Skywalker, right? Like Leia's gone. Finn is basically going to go be a Jedi. Rey's going to be a Jedi. Like, we need someone to like. Yeah, I want her to kind of be a mixture of Leia, Mon Mothma-y too. I want her to be like involved in the recreation. I mean, like, and I want her to always be running back and forth with too many data pads and dropping them, and like, oh, I'm late for so many meetings. Like, you could have some really fun comedy with that, but because everyone wants Rose, I want everyone to be like, I need Rose on my committee. I need Rose on my committee. And she's like, I just want some like Tanneray wine and for everyone to shut up for a day. Yeah. Like, I think that could be like very much like Leia and Bloodline. I think that would be fun to have that be a Rose type thing.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. I'm going to think on a smaller and more intimate scale. And this came to me as I was listening to y'all talking. One of the biggest things that made me sad when we learned about things that were cut from The Rise of Skywalker was that supposed scene between like Rey and Rose, like really having like a heart to heart and talking about things. And I think their dynamic is really incredibly interesting. And I would love to see, like, we don't know what Rey's up to, obviously, but let's assume she's out there kind of still learning about what it means to be a Jedi. I would love to see like her and Rose like just going around the universe searching for those answers, and Rose does the tech stuff and Rey does the Force stuff, and just a real intimate story about like their friendship and their adventures. I would read or play or watch the heck out of that.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be great. And we do get, I think, as another plug, I think we do get a Rey Rose story in Spark of the Resistance, that Justina Ireland book. So if you're interested in that dynamic as well as Charles is, that's it's a middle grade. That was the prequel to Road 2. That was it. I think the Last Jedi?
Journey 2.
Thank you. I'm like, that's not right. But again, one of those books, if you missed it, Justina Ireland, who's doing obviously a ton of High Republic stuff, go check that book out. It's really good.
And Talia brings up a good point in the chat. She says lots of people thought Ahsoka was really annoying at first. Now everyone loves her. We've seen it happen. It would be great for her too. Yeah, I was trying to think of an example. Because it's happened over and over again in Star Wars that characters are introduced and people really dislike them, and then they become fan favorites over time. It's just how it is, right? So,
Ahmed Best's like standing ovation at Celebration or whatever.
It made me cry. It's the only time I've ever in my life cried in a huge crowd of people, but like it moved me to tears to see that happen.
Also, Charles, isn't she in Ride and the Last Dragon? Don't you like that movie? Isn't that a pretty good movie?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Can we talk about? Is that one of the questions?
Go watch Riot. It's incredible. And Blind Face in the chat brings up a great point as well. There's some good Rose stuff already happening in the comics. Her Age of Resistance one shot is dope.
It is. Totally
and I think some short form storytelling like Ahsoka, like if there does happen to be like a sequel era animated show, or there's like some comics and stuff, I think she can pop up a ton.
Yeah,
love that.
agreed.
Wes, where are we going next? These are
We
great, by the way.
are going with a question from Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
And we're going to do question number 3.
All right.
No, I'm sorry. Question number 4. Question number 4.
Oh,
Except for, of course, the High Republic. What Star Wars book would you like to see turned into a live-action movie, and which other one in an animated one?
Oh man.
So, I will start us off with the live-action movie. I want an Ocean's 11 heist movie around Timothy Zahn's
Oh my
Scoundrels book.
That's a fantastic answer.
The whole premise of that book is Han is getting together a team of like smugglers, of like cat burglars, of anybody and everybody. That's great. To I don't even remember what they were trying to steal. They were I've read it so long ago, but
didn't matter.
Cares.
but the very end is
Declaration
great
of
in that movie.
Independence.
But it is a phenomenal heist book, and the very end will make you want to reread it all over again. So
Yeah. Also, just use Brad Pitt as Han Solo. Like, screw it. Why not?
And
That's a
then,
great choice.
my animated pick, Charles, would be a a show on Force Collector, because it'd be great to see all the callbacks in an animated version in that book. I liked all the callbacks in Force Collector, so I thought it was pretty good.
I'd have to watch
solid.
it since I didn't read it.
I have an immediate answer as well. Very on brand for me. I would love to see the book Rebel Rising turned into a live action film. I think Felicity Jones.
Felicity Jones, yes.
Felicity Jones, like has the look to play herself even as a younger version. I think it would be fine. I think she's still young enough to be able to do that, and that's a fantastic book. And I would love to see the dark part of Saw Gerrera's rebellion, right? Like where he shoots up that party and kills all those politicians with machine guns. Like
It's wild.
put that shit on screen, man. I would love to see that. So Rebel Rising would be a great one. I don't have an answer for animated show immediately.
Animation. I have an easy one for animation. It's totally cheating, so I have 2. Animation 1 is Dark Disciple, because it was supposed to be the Clone Wars anyway. So
out.
just animate it.
Cop out. Doesn't count.
Exactly. So my actual one is a little bit of a curveball. I want to see animated Myths and Fables. I
that'd
want
be
them to
fun.
make this like a Disney Plus limited series, and I want them to do it like they're doing with Star Wars Visions. I want a different animation style for each tale, and I want I want them to use that. So that would be my choice for animation. Live action's tough because I love the idea that books live in books, and we're all agreed that like each medium's great. But for the purpose of the question, I mean, an Elephant Squadron trilogy in live action. I mean, I want to see those ship battles. I would love to see those. It would just be so cool. Or I'm sorry, I'm gonna do one more extra one because now I'm on this roll. I want to see Master and Apprentice in live action. I want more Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan in my life.
Hey,
How do you think Lost Stars would do in live action? You think animation would be a better? I don't know.
If it was rated R, it'd be great.
Yeah.
the cave sex scene. That's just what you want.
I mean, honestly, it's so weird that it's such a book to me.
Yeah, I know. It kind of is to me too.
It's
I'm not really
such
sure
a book.
It spans such a wide time frame that it'd be hard to put in a movie.
Would be.
Yeah, maybe like a Disney Plus series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. Charles, what do you think?
So I was also going to say Alphabet Squadron for live action, because I can just like see how like dark and gritty and grungy that would be. I think it would be fantastic. And animated, I'm actually going to say I would love to see something from the High Republic animated. So like, Light of the Jedi or anything like that. I would love to see, because it's cool with the young reader books to see like kind of the cartoon type depictions of like
it could work.
Buriaga or Loden Greatstorm or whatever. And I would watch a whole show like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it.
Who's next?
All right. I'll take the next one. Let's do okay. I'm gonna grab question number 19 from Moonflyer, who says, if you could take any one technology from a galaxy far, far away and make it real, what would you choose? And
Oh man, that's a good one.
I have an immediate one that is, I think, going to be obvious once I say it. It's Bacta.
Damn it.
Like, I think, like, oh, just put it on your body. Broken bone, cut, sickness, back to
You
tank.
could take
I
a
feel like
bath
this.
really fast. I know.
Yeah, and that may speak a little more to like the world we're living in now than anything else. But I think just if Bacta was real, I think the fact that the planets that hold Bacta are being attacked are also very realistic about what would happen if we found Bacta. Like that would be a war zone unlike anything else we've ever seen. But yeah, that's my choice.
Man, there's
I
so
want
many
back
good
to-
answers for this question. So many
Yeah.
good answers for this question. Oh, I don't know if I have one immediately. Do you guys have one?
Yeah.
Wes, you had Bacta based on your reaction.
Yeah, I need Bacta now, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Poor back, man.
Putting the back in back to.
Heard you. Any one technology from a galaxy far, far away.
Because we are kind of getting them. I mean, like the iPad
know.
is
They're
basically
slowly
Star
coming
Wars
about.
tech.
It is.
You
Yeah, it's
know?
really coming out. I mean, we would all be lying to ourselves if we did not all want a lightsaber for real at some point in
Yeah,
time.
for
Like,
sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
that is like such an easy answer. Like
A hyperdrive.
I remember a time when I was in like middle school, I went through a phase where I was just like really sad all the time because I couldn't have a real lightsaber in real life. Like I would like I would read about lightsaber technology on the internet as a dumb kid and be like, why isn't this here yet? It should be here. This is so sad. I'm like terrible. Strange times. My wife is laughing. at me in the
I
other room.
wouldn't mind my doors opening up from
Oh
bottom to
yeah,
top in
dude!
my house.
I've been
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
about. I've been thinking about building one of those. I kid you not. There are videos on YouTube about how to use an air pressure
What?
system and how to do the. You can do that, like where you use two pocket doors. They're small, and you can like hook it up to like an air tank in your basement. Run the lines through the walls, and it'll do it. And make the
Jesus
sound and everything. I've thought about doing it for real. One day.
Oh my God.
One day I'm gonna post it in Slack, and you guys are just gonna be like, not even surprised.
Oh,
All
my
right,
God, Matt
Corey,
George.
just run away with my answer. I answered that. That's mine. That's me. I want the Star Wars doors in my house.
All right.
Sorry. Charles, any ideas on doors, Bacta, and
Well, I'm wondering if maybe Corey could put one of those doors in his trailer to fix it.
Oh my God.
But
maybe some kind of door would work there finally?
I broke the door of my
Yeah.
trailer, guys, just for the record.
I don't know this.
Yes,
this
David,
question, This question, my answer probably is going to be what Wes mentioned. It probably would be a hyperdrive because, like, whenever I get that like classic question, like, "Oh, what superpower would you want?" It's teleportation. Like, I would just
Yeah,
want to
right,
be
for sure.
somewhere else, like, be able to, I don't know, vacation on Scarif. You know,
We literally have
pre-Death
no
Star.
other known habitable planets in real life, Charles.
That
Not
would
yet.
Love.
Not
Teleport.
yet.
But-
Just teleport
but you know what?
inside a bank
Listen,
vault and
if
then
you
teleport
were to
out.
get-
There's
if
this
I
thing
could
that's
give you-
a galaxy far, far away.
Oh my God.
Okay?
If I could give you a hyperdrive right now what? Like
Maybe we find it.
So
Maybe
you
we
have
find
a
it.
hyperdrive. Now what are you gonna do?
basically, Corey basically is just like, hey, you know, every science fiction thing that's ever been written in history, it's dumb. Like exploring the universe.
Idiots.
Corey.
All idiots.
Oh my God. All right.
All right.
Let's
Charles-
pick something else.
Stick it to him, Charles, to get our next question and get something else Corey will think is stupid.
All right. Let's try a question from Rob Neese. So number 11 in this document says,
Oh, yeah, I like this one.
Who is an active author that you'd love to see write a Star Wars book in the future, and what kind of story would you like them to tell?
And are we saying active author? Does he mean non-Star Wars author? Like that because it sounds like it could go either way.
That's what I feel like he's asking.
Okay, so a non-Star
let's say
Wars.
non-Star Wars, and they don't. I'm gonna say they don't have to be alive because maybe that's. I don't know if that's what he meant. Like they're actively writing still, but
Listen,
there's so many- there's so
I
many good
read
authors.
Kevin Scott's book in like 5 hours the day before we had to finish it. I'm not reading any other books right now. Let's be real. So I cannot name another author that I would like to see right now in Star Wars.
I'm gonna. Okay, go ahead, Wes.
No, Charles, it's your question. Go ahead and start.
Okay, all right. So I used to be super into mafia stories, like gangster stories. Like I loved The Godfather. I read all kinds of books, and I
Goodfellas.
fell in love with this author named
Casino.
Lorenzo Carcaterra, who wrote all kinds of just really good
Hell of a
lobster
name.
books. Yeah.
Sounds like he's in the
And,
mafia.
so I would love
Yeah,
to see.
is he maybe Italian?
I would love to see him write like Crimson Dawn or
Oh my
you know
God.
some
Please
kind of
bring in a
gang-related.
mafia writer for the
Yeah.
for the
Crimson
crime
Dawn!
syndicates.
He does it so well, and he creates these really layered stories
Oh,
and complicated
man.
characters.
That's a
And
great
to
answer.
see that done in
love
Star
that.
Wars, I would love it.
Oh, that's great.
So I have a selection. I would my active author would be Clive Barker. I would have Clive Barker
Who's
write
that?
a Star Wars horror film. He wrote Hellraiser, Candyman,
Oh, okay,
the,
sure.
the
Okay,
Midnight
okay.
Meat Train.
All of the VHS covers that scared me when I walked through Hollywood Videos.
There you
That's
go.
right.
So I would love to see him do like a Star Wars horror film, like about probably Han and Chewie escaping a rolling stampede from a group of Raptors.
He has a play called The Sack.
Yeah. He
Also
did
horror.
he did
Thanks
a
for that.
pretty creepy video game like years ago called Undying that I
Right.
bought. It was super good. And that
Right.
was his first move into video games, and he did really well with it. But yeah, Clive Barker is a
That'd be
sick
cool.
man, sick man with his horror films, and Hellraiser is still haunts me to this day.
Well, if the three of us go missing, we know who did it. Eric, what's your answer?
Absolutely easily. So mine is going to be an author that Charlie actually turned me on to. It is a author that does a lot with like magical realism and a lot of like very non-literal writing. And it's her name's Erin Morgenstern. She wrote the books The Night Circus and The Starless Sea. If you've ever read those, they're really incredible, like magic meets real world building stuff. The characters are great, and her writing style is very unlike anyone else I've ever read. And I'd love for her to do a book about like that's what a Rey's Jedi journey to be. Like have it be by someone who doesn't write so literally. Have someone that actually has a lot of like going between worlds and realities and like things like that. So if you've ever read any Erin Morgenstern stuff, she's also a huge nerd. Like she plays a ton of BioWare video games and like clearly loves a lot of like just genre stuff anyway. So I think that I know she's writing another book right now, but in the future, if she was ever open to IP, I think that she would be a great author to just give her the money, leave her alone for like 6 years, and let her write the thing. And if you haven't read The Night Circus or Starless Sea yet, I highly, highly recommend them. My other real answer is the author that I want to write Star Wars most in the world is Chuck Wendig, and it'll never happen. But anyway, moving on.
Corey, did you have an answer or no?
No,
Corey doesn't read.
We don't have an answer.
Wait, can I ask a follow-up question that I'm
Yeah.
curious
Yeah.
about? Do y'all have a favorite book that is not a Star Wars book, like that you have ever read?
Yes.
Ooh. Wes, what is it?
Mine is Hitman, which is about
all
Brett the
gonna die.
Hitman Hart, which is a professional wrestler. It's about it's his whole it's like it's a biography of Brett the Hitman Hart. It's really good.
Love that. It's hard. This is like saying, what's your favorite movie? And my brain goes like, I've never seen a movie.
Yeah, I know.
But I think that it's such recency bias, but despite the joke I just made, Wanderers by Chuck Wendig that came out a couple years ago was the most recent book that I can remember like finishing and like sitting in like awe for like a while. And like everyone I knew, I'm like, this is like a 900-page book. Do you want to borrow it? Like you gotta read it. You gotta read it. And that one kind of really changed my perspective on a lot. Very hard to read during a worldwide pandemic though, just a heads up, because it is definitely about a plague that wipes out humans.
That's good. I have a stupid answer. You guys are gonna laugh at me for this. My favorite book that I've literally ever read is a self-help book.
Hey, that's not stupid. That's great.
It's that leadership book that I'm always talking about, Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink,
Yeah.
who was a ex-Navy SEAL, and it's like that book has like it's such a cliche that people are like, oh, this self-help book changed my life, right? That's such a cliche, but
That's what we're
literally
supposed to do.
literally everything about that book has like totally changed my perspective on leadership and life and like friendships and relationships, and it's just really, really good about owning challenges and like turning them into positives, and It's a good book. Highly recommend it.
So you were like a worse person before that book.
Yeah, believe it or not.
How can that be?
It is possible.
No, that's great. All right. Before we get too much about loving each other and hyping each other up, Wes, what's our next question? These are
All
great,
right.
y'all. Thank you for these.
I'm gonna run back to Cheryl. Cheryl did a great question here. Let's see what number it is.
It's
Number 8.
I know.
Number
I wanted this one
8.
earlier. When I asked the question, can I ask the same person twice? This is the question I was talking about.
Oh, sweet. Let's do it.
Number 8. So, who is your favorite obscure background character in the films who had no dialogue? Noises or grunting, growling, whooping is okay.
I'm gonna pull
And
them
was
up.
on screen for no more than, say, a minute.
Okay.
And what about them made you love them so much?
All right. Wes, what do you got?
Now, I'm gonna save mine for the end.
Okay. I have an
Ooh,
answer
okay.
because I picked it earlier.
Go for it.
All right.
My favorite background character that has virtually no lines whatsoever is the Kubaz from episode 4. His name is Grindin. Now the Kubaz is this guy. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Here's I pulled it up.
There's
with the
literally a
images.
Funko Pop of this guy.
This is such a dumb, obscure character. It looks like one of the plague doctors from like the Black Plague with their little.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally what they're supposed to look like. And I love this guy, man. He's so goofy, and he has that phenomenal narration by Mark Thompson in the From a Certain Point of View book, where he does this weird nasally voice the entire time. It's just like Mark Thompson is a god. Like seriously, I love this character. He's such a goofy dude, and he's barely on screen.
All right.
Oh, also, fun fact about this character. Sorry, he was one of the first characters to not real. I don't even think he got credits in the credits of the movie. Right, like he was one of the first expanded universe characters, meaning like the fans gave him a background and a story, and they cared about him, and he was named Garindin. Like none of that was in the movie, right? Like
that's the best.
Yeah. So this is he's
That's
in
great.
the
That's
first
great.
he's in the first 20 minutes of the film or something like that, right? So yeah.
Yeah. Adam in our chat, our glorious Adam Dyson, who's awake during now, said Sarlacc.
Nice.
Yeah, the Sarlacc's pretty good.
To do some grunting and some whooping.
Yeah, I have a cheating answer because as far as live action film, this is where I fell in love with this character. Then they got expanded a ton in animation, but I fell in love with them in the films. Plo Koon doesn't say anything.
Yeah,
and
he
honestly,
flies.
the reason looks dope.
They fly
Looks
now.
dope as hell.
Yeah.
He just he has the cool mask, and I'm like, and he has 3 giant fingers. I'm like, what is that? And he was really cool in the Obi-Wan game. So didn't hear him speak until I watched Clone Wars, but I always loved Plo Koon for that reason.
Charles,
I
you have an
look cool.
answer?
Yeah. I mean, my mind immediately jumped to a lot of the Cantina creatures and things like
Yeah.
that. So the Shistavenin, the Wolfman, I've always thought was super cool. But another one that I thought of is Baron Papanoida, because it is the character
What?
that George
Baron?
Lucas himself plays. Yeah. He's
Right.
what is their species? I can't remember. They're nonchus blue skin.
The Pantorans.
Yeah, the Pantorans. So
Yep, that's George Lucas.
Actually played Baron Papanoida and walks in the background of one of the
I
scenes.
forgot about this. He's
as
in the
this
opera.
guy.
Oh,
He's at the opera, right? Is he in the
Yeah, I
opera?
think he's one of the people that gets up and
Here he is.
and leaves or something.
This is a terrible image, but he's in the background. Of
Yeah,
the opera
there-
scene.
That's
There
a
he
great
is.
call.
And
Man, good
I
one.
mean, that's just such a fun fact, and it's George and the thing that he created that we all love, so it's fun.
Is that the only character he played in all of Star Wars?
Yep.
far as I
Wow.
know.
Yep.
In Revenge of the Sith, no less. Fantastic.
Yep. On a similar note, before Wes gives his, which I'm so excited about, I want to throw in Ahmed Beck from episode 2, which is Ahmed Best's cameo character in the bar that gets literally a frame.
Where?
The only time he's at, it's in episode 2 in the bar. What's the name of the bar,
Yeah.
Charles? You guys know?
You want to buy some death sticks?
Oh, the
Yeah.
Outlander Club.
And his name is
Outlander Club.
Ahmed Beck, which
Nice.
is a figure that I have bought my buddy Ian from last episode for Christmas before. So
That's fantastic.
Ahmed Beck.
Nice.
Fun
Wes,
fact, when
what
we
is
watched
your
when we watched Attack of the Clones the other night, I yelled at Caitlin multiple times, look, this is the part. This is where he is. She was like, shut up.
This is the choice I've
It
made.
was really good. Wes.
All right.
This better be freaking good. You built this up.
So my favorite obscure background character is Luleo Primock.
What? Leo? How do you
Go
spell that?
on.
Luleo Primock was the little fish singer from Solo.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That is so good.
That's amazing. It's a chicken with chicken in the pot, right? That's the name of the song.
And apparently he was that they're both a group, and that Dryden Voss made enough money to actually bring them on, so they were a hot act. But he had a big hit song called "Your Love Is Gravy."
Oh my god.
I love Star Wars so much.
It's so ridiculous. Look at this.
Luleo
This guy,
Primock,
the little guy
that
in
in the jar.
In the jar.
Like, it's so like out of key and like not at all related. Like her singing is all like sexy and good and like really talented. And he's just like, blah 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 blah.
Luleo Primock, though. I'm never gonna forget it now.
That is
Never.
that is an excellent answer.
Great choice. All right, Corey. Next question.
Okay, there was a question earlier that I was gonna ask. What was it? Oh, here it is. Number 2 is also from Obi-Wan Kenobi. It says, aside from Star Wars and Marvel / DC Comics, what's another franchise you love and watch / read pretty much everything from? This is sort of a cop-out answer for me, but I'm like an absolute sucker for Band of Brothers. Like I absolutely love the European front, World War II history. I just really enjoy reading books and watching movies, and I need to pick up a good World War II book. I haven't read one in a long time. There's a new series coming, being produced by Spielberg and Tom Hanks and the same people that produced the Band of Brothers, called Masters of the Air, which is based on the book called Masters of the Air, which is about, like, I think it's a bomber squadron in World War II. So like they started filming in February of last year, and I've been waiting for this development for literally, like, it's been rumored for like a decade. So I can't wait for this to come out. It's gonna be super fun. So love me some classic World War II stuff. I've seen virtually every World War II movie that's ever been made, like including all the old black and white stuff. Like I love that stuff. A Bridge Too Far. Oh my god. Oh man, so good. Freaking what's his name? It's he talks like this. Oh, what's the guy?
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
Wow!
Great impression, dude.
Oh my god!
It's Sean Connery's
That
in
was
it.
wild.
So good. Excellent, Wes. I knew I could count on you.
Have you seen Saving Private Ryan? It's really good.
Saving Ryan's Private.
Indie film.
All right.
I'm gonna do a. This is hard because with the amount of time that's in the world, like Star Wars takes the time.
It does take so
And
much
then,
time.
like, So and then I watch Marvel movies and all the Marvel shows, but that's out there. So I'm gonna give 2 that I try to. The first is Mass Effect. I love those are some of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
I try to read the books when they come out. I try to keep up on the lore as I can. That's a giant. I own a ton of like merchandise. If I guess that's kind of like the way to go. Another one. This is so weird. I love the Lord of the Rings. I've never read the books. I've read The Hobbit, but
I'm not sure that you can say I love the Lord of the Rings if you're like, I've never read the books, you know.
So, but here's the thing. I love those movies so much, and I think the lore is so incredible. I just don't have. I've seen the movies. I don't have the time. So but if you're asking me what my favorite like upcoming project is that Lord of the Rings Amazon series, I'm like, clear my schedule. Like that's all I want is that. So that's what I'm excited to be more into, I guess, is my answer to this question.
Okay.
Oh, and the Dallas Cowboys. It's a literal franchise that I love.
Shout out to Tam in the comments
I
for
guess
Kelly's
sports do
hero.
count.
Very good.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if we're talking like, I don't know, intellectual properties, like those kind of things, I would say some of my top ones are Doctor Who. I was super into for a long time.
Yep.
I admittedly fell off during like the 12th Doctor stint, but like the 10th and the 11th, like I watched every episode. I read the books that they were writing in those time periods, all those things. Kind of same goes for Sherlock Holmes. I have read
Nice.
Everything that like has ever been
That's a
put
good
out for
answer,
Sherlock
too.
Holmes, probably.
Those are great books.
Absolutely.
Dude,
including
that
the ones
first-
that they.
The first one where he goes off on that huge tangent about the Mormons is like that is like my favorite thing ever that's ever happened in literature.
Yeah, but even the new stuff that they put out now, still, if it involves Sherlock Holmes, like I'm still interested enough to read it.
Yeah, that's good.
And then other answers quickly. Firefly. Love.
I've never jumped on the
Love.
Firefly bandwagon,
Love.
man. I've been
You
meaning to for a
got
long
to
time.
do it.
It's my favorite single season of television.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
it's
all
such
you
a,
get.
such a common
So
answer.
dang good.
Yes,
it's so
Firefly.
good. And then if
I
we're
need those
including sports, Miami Heat, I have very high hopes. We re-signed Jimmy Butler for like 4 years. We got Kyle Lowry coming. We got good stuff, y'all. I'm excited about next season.
Hey, patrons, if you're ever interested in like a short form 10 to 15 minute Youtini sports podcast, let us know. Grab us like sports. If you want a Star Wars fan's opinion on sports, let us know. We might put that out.
All right, so mine, I guess instead of Star Wars, I'm a big pro wrestling fan. Adam knows this. So I watched, ever since I was a little kid, I would watch it with my dad on Monday nights all through the 90s. And then not so much now. I'll try to keep up with the storylines and everything, but my friends that I've met in college that I'm still friends to this day they're the diehard wrestling fans as well, and that's all we talk to each other in is like wrestling quotes. And I have like my whole soundboard's like messed up with wrestling sounds.
I love that.
Just know it. So yeah, big time wrestling mark right here. I read all the books, I watch all the shows, watch all the pay-per-views. It's stupid. We have WrestleMania. All my friends come over to my house. We watch it even though we don't know what's going on. Every year I got a WrestleMania party at my house, and I
That's
cook and we drink.
fantastic.
It's great.
How'd you feel about Cena coming back?
I liked it. Outside of his political views and him trying to make money from the damn movie that he did, he is
Yeah, that was dumb.
he's big time. He's really over with the crowd. So the crowd wants him back. Basically these pro wrestlers are like the gladiators from Gladiator and like from back in the Roman times too. So the crowd depicts who's going to be like the winner or the champion, because if you put the belt on a champion, even though it's storyline, if you put the belt on somebody the crowd doesn't like, then they're going to let you know about it. They're going to boo you the entire time. They're not going to buy your merchandise. They're not going to do
so
any of that.
funny,
So
dude.
it's great. They depict on who is going to be the actual.
So
who's gonna
maybe
be the actual champion. It's
maybe
great.
toxic Star Wars fans are all actually wrestling fans. Maybe that's the
Yeah, they
problem.
just don't have an outlet. We want to change the narrative.
No, I wouldn't allow them in the group.
That's fair. Well, hey, on the opposite side of toxic, our next question comes from Paul Matthews, and I love this one. I want to get your guys' opinion on this. What Star Wars character would be worthy of lifting Mjolnir? This is the most worthy, and we're talking like Captain America could do it, right? Thor could do it. The worthy, wholesome, the best we got.
I got one.
What do you got?
Hot off the presses of my pro wrestling talk. It's the Bendu, right? He's big.
Oh!
He's the biggest damn guy that's out there. Of course he
That's
can pick
fair.
it up. And he
Worthy.
both light and dark.
And
side.
dark. Yep.
Yeah, energy.
I like
so.
that. I think Yoda could. Honestly, I guess it might seem like a cop out, but I think Yoda could totally do it. Especially like I'm talking about Dagobah, like like literally the last thing he does before he falls asleep under that blanket is lift up Mjolnir and goes, "Rrr," and then he dies.
It was really heavy. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's like sitting on the corner of the blanket like that. So he has to move it before he like curls up and
And Luke
turns
goes
over.
like, "Wait." Great question. Chat. Angelia says Obi-Wan. She already said it. I agree. And Adam says Geo. Did he pick it up
Listen,
or did it just fall over?
I bet Princess Leia could lift it. Like
That's
truly,
a great one.
Truly,
Yeah.
I bet
Yeah.
Princess Leia is one of the only like just characters from Star Wars that could lift it. Maybe
Yep.
Padme,
Especially out of the trio.
Padme can maybe lift it.
Yeah.
Although she has her whole like secret love life with Anakin, which is probably like a it's
Yeah,
probably-
Thor has Cap has a secret own. Secret love as long as like for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I think works out.
If Jared were here, he'd say Exar Kun.
He totally would.
I think. What about
Ray might.
Oh, Ray could do
Eventually.
it, for sure.
So all the women in the trios is what we're saying. We're realizing can lift Mjolnir.
Yeah, and I think that Kanan could probably do it.
That might be a good one too.
That's great.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
Yeah, 3PO would be so worried that everyone was touching it, and so R2 would try to lift it. Chopper
With
can
the
lift it.
red
No, I'm
arm.
kidding.
3PO could only do it with the red arm.
Absolutely. All right, we got probably got time for a couple more. So as I said, we're not going to get to everyone's questions, which is like the best feeling, honestly, for a show to get so much input. We're going to keep this dot going. We're going to do more of these, so keep them coming in future shows. But we got time for a couple more. Let's see if we can lightning round a couple. Charles, what do we got next?
All right. So from Aiden, we have question number 12 that says, what direction would you take a proposed episode 10? New characters, continue the existing characters, and who would your villain be?
Oh,
Very
man.
good
Well,
question.
So let's lightning round. This is a big one.
Yeah, we try not to conjecture here on this show, but that's what we're gonna do right now.
Yeah. If we had the money and we had the scripts.
That's right.
I mean, Charles, your question. Start us out.
I know. What? Yeah. So everyone, make sure that you light me up when my half-cooked idea for episode 10 is not up to snuff. But I don't know. I really, it's hard not to continue along with those characters. I mean, obviously we saw the original trilogy characters all the way through episode 9, essentially. So I would really want to follow along with Rey and with Finn and see what's going on with that. See what becomes of the New Republic when it's kind of reestablished. I don't know. I mean, the Star Wars story never ends. It's cyclical, but it never ends.
Right.
And so I would kind of just love to see what you would expect. Like, what are all the characters that we just finished up with doing now?
Yeah.
Who would the villain be, though? For sure, Palpatine comes back again.
Oh my God.
Yeah, cut the feed.
There
Cut
it
the
is.
feed.
Who would my villain be? It would
I
probably
literally
be.
hate you, Charles.
My villain would probably
Somehow.
be.
Somebody new. It needs to be
Somebody-
new.
Yeah,
Younger and far more powerful.
There it is.
I don't know. Someone in a mask. That's all.
That's
all
good.
I'll
Oh
say.
my
Yeah,
God.
it would have to be somebody new, right? I mean, it would
It
definitely
could
have
be
to be
Salacious Crumb, but probably it's someone new. Yeah.
somebody that's practicing like Sith lore or found some Sith holocron in some back world and is like, and probably I don't want to go back to.
It's a clone of Snoke.
Yeah, I don't want to go back there.
The one with the hat.
But I don't want to see Rey teaching a bunch of students either.
Right.
That's kind of a rehash story of Luke Skywalker. So, but what happens? That's the thing, though. What would happen to the Jedi?
So listen,
If she's
here's
not
the,
teaching
here's the thing.
younger
Maybe
ones.
maybe it's the Storm Chaser talking. By the way, this wine that I'm drinking is called Storm Chaser, which
yep.
is
Ride the
how
storm!
how I didn't know I had this for the Rising Storm roundtable is
Sorry, Kevin.
it's kind of a damn shame to be frank. But listen, the movies have to be about the continuity of Rey's story, right? Like of her story,
Right.
like
If we're
later
doing,
on.
if it was a 10, yeah.
Yes, and here's the thing. You guys have heard me bitch about this endlessly. Like, they marketed The Rise of Skywalker as being like the end of the Skywalker saga, right? And that was like the dumbest decision ever, in my opinion, because there is no way that they're not going to come back from this multi-billion-dollar franchise like freaking 10 20 years from now and be like, oh, episode 10, we're back, baby. Like, that is absolutely gonna happen in our lifetime. It absolutely is. Like, and
Yeah.
they're gonna use episode 10. I mean, they're gonna use that terminology. I guarantee it. I guarantee that's gonna happen.
Come on, all you need is the giant X on a poster in like 2031, and
I
it's
know.
like that's it.
Just yes, like just retcon the fact that you did this stupid marketing campaign. We know you didn't have a plan. All right, we know you didn't have a plan. It's fine. All right, and it needs to be Rey's story, like of like way down the line. I'm not talking like it's got to be a long time in the future. I think that was a great choice of this sequel trilogy.
Yep.
They went so far into the future with the older characters, but like. It needs to be like something totally new, a new villain, a new threat to the galaxy. Maybe the Sith are still alive and they're out, in the chaos, or the options are endless. But I think it was somewhat of a mistake to just pick known enemies and known characters, and it was too safe. And
I think that for Avatar: Last Airbender fans, which is another universe I really love. I just backed their RPG on Kickstarter this week. I would take cues from the Legend of Korra, if anyone's seen that, and I would treat the first 9 as kind of the Avatar movies, and then I'd move like 30 years in the future, like you're saying, Corey. So the galaxy is shifted. Rey is a Korra type figure who's a little more like she's learned a lot more. She's a lot more capable. She's really tough, but she's now dealing with the spiritual side of the Force more. And I would actually make, at the end of the episode 10 or episode 11, I would make Rey the villain who essentially sees into the Force and sees, like looking into the void kind of thing, and starts to falter. And then Finn, her best pupil, has to bring her back. And not searching for her. I'm talking about like spirits, like go into the realm of the Force, use the wills, get weird about it. I would love weird Force stuff.
Go into the microcosm.
go into the midichlorians,
that
baby.
was George Lucas's original plan, as you guys taught me a couple episodes back.
Yeah. But yeah, I would love some of that.
Midichlorian through someone's bloodstream, like magic school bus.
Like the magic school bus. Yeah, exactly.
So
Lizzle and everything.
My goodness.
Surfing on a sound wave.
All right, let's do 2 more. We'll do a fun final circle. So Wes, what's our penultimate?
All right. We'll go down to the very bottom. Last question from Stephanie. If you could choose to have any Star Wars story you want made to be a movie, TV show, live action animation, book, comic, manga, graphic novel, who or what would it be about, and who would you choose to create it and why?
Okay, so let's change this question from like not like we already had a similar question earlier, right? It's not like a known story, right? Something
known story.
Something
not a
new.
remake.
Yes, you want a new story, but it has to be some kind of specific medium.
Correct.
And creator.
Yes.
And I've talked about creator. Who would I want to create it? Okay. So I've talked about this before. I need the story of Sypha Dyas and how at like outside of like when it ended in Dooku Jedi Lost, and then I guess up until episode 2, that whole background Sypha Dyas out. I mean, not. I think there's a comics, right? There's a comic story behind it. But I would, having read Kevin Scott's novel just now, Kevin Scott would be great for this. I think I would love short, quick chapters to the precise point to let us know what's going on in his head, why he's having these migraines, why he's having all these visions. I mean, I would love to see what's going on with Sypha Dyas.
That's awesome. I want a comic myself. I want the Fulcrum comic series. I thought I wanted it as live action, but now I think I want it in the comic format. I want Bail Organa sending Sabe on missions. And I want it to be written by Charles Soule or Greg Pak, who just did the couple last Vader runs when they brought the Amidalans back. I thought that was freaking incredible. And I would love like a spy series with Bail and Sabe in the early Rebellion times. Like maybe for like 20 to 40 issues. That's what I would love.
It's a lot of issues.
Yeah, it is.
I would like to see some of the. This is maybe somewhat of a controversial answer. I would like to see some of the content of the Plagueis novel brought to life in some form or fashion, right? Like not necessarily like with the things that happen in the Darth Plagueis novel, but like I would like to see a young Palpatine's political story told. Right,
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Like with his rise to power. I mean, how he stumbled onto right. How he stumbled into the Sith, right? Because like how do you do that, right? In the book, even it's just like he gets a new mentor, and it's like hey man, I've been want to talk to you about this for a while. Listen, you want unlimited power? I can give you that. Like, I mean, how does that happen, right? I mean, like that'd be a fun story, I think. Whether it be, I don't know, it might serve well as a live action show, almost a Game of Thrones-esque type of.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
All the politics,
I love that.
maybe Naboo politics and Senate politics and like backstabbing and That might be fun. Some like political Coruscant stuff. That might be fun.
Yeah. Oh my God. Sorry, Charles. I'm gonna forget it. One, Angelia in the chat brings up a great one we forgot. Claudia Gray book of Obi-Wan, Satine, and Qui-Gon during that year on Mandalore.
Yeah.
Where
Okay.
Qui-Gon,
I was literally thinking. I watched that arc yesterday, or the Clone Wars TV show arc, and I'm like, I literally almost texted you guys. It was like 1 a.m, and I was like, why don't we have the Satine story yet? Where the hell is the Satine story? We need it.
Claudia Gray YA, and this will never happen, so I'll just say it. I want the Aaron Sorkin West Wing, but in the Senate. I want like the Galactic Senate of like walking down halls and talking about policy and doing all these things. Obviously starring Bail Organa because Jimmy Smith was already in the West Wing. He knows how it goes. Oh my God, Caroline in the chat, you're gonna hit this on the delay. You just typed that in the chat, so we are connected.
Where's Martin Sheen in this whole thing?
Oh my God, he's the Chancellor.
There you go.
All right,
Give him a set of horns.
Charles. What do you
Okay,
got?
all right, hold on. Sorry, while we're on the political thing, the
Go.
Valorum has to be a huge character in the Palpatine show, right?
Yeah.
Like, and
Yes.
he needs to be like an evil, conniving, backstabbing son of a bitch, like not like the kind guy that we see on screen that we're all like, oh well, he's been voted out. That really sucks. Like, no, he needs to be like evil, like fantastic.
Dude, I mean, Kevin Spacey being a truly horrific human being ruined the fact that we had some great political drama TV shows for a while.
That's right.
So now we just need to replace it and put like a data pad in there every once in a while and be like, oh right, it is Star Wars. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Charles, what do you got?
Charles, what do you got?
I think I answered the best answer I had earlier to I think it was Josiah's question. And I want a pod racing story. Like I would like it to be like a limited show on like Disney Plus or something like that. But like I would love if it was like new characters, but you know what else I'd love is if like you followed through like a whole season, like all of the backstabbing and stuff that happened amongst all the pod racers that end up in what we see in the Phantom Menace. And I don't know, every time someone crashes or something like that, like you feel it because like you know that whole character story and like what it took for them to get there and why they're racing and this and that. Like I would just absolutely love to see that. And the other
Starring
thing is,
Vin Diesel as Ben Quadraneros.
yes.
Oh God.
Yes.
That's about family. Like, it'd be amazing.
And the other thing I'd love to see is what they're already doing with this Obi-Wan series. So
Oh my God.
I don't have to think too hard about that.
You ever just like you're driving down the road or like you're in the shower and you get in that really deep thinking place and you're like, damn, there's gonna be an Obi-Wan show with Ewan McGregor. Like
Pretty much it's my first thought every morning when I wake up and my
It's
last
just
when I go
like-
to sleep.
how are we so blessed to be alive? This is happening. That is still one of the best moments in Star Wars announcement meta history when Kathleen Kennedy brought Ewan McGregor out and said, tell them there's gonna be a new Obi-Wan show. And he goes, I'm gonna be back for Obi-Wan. It's just everybody just loses their damn. Remember, I broke my lamp. Remember, I threw a pillow and broke a lamp in my living room. I was so excited.
It's like, Ewan, are you going to play Obi-Wan Kenobi again?
That long dramatic pause. Yes,
Like,
it's just.
And I was at a
man.
friend's house and I brought up my phone and watched the clip and just started screaming because that's the thing. Like, I feel like I love The Mandalorian. I love Clone Wars. Y'all were so spoiled just assuming Star Wars content. Like, this is still the biggest deal in the world that he said yes.
Can't wait. When is it coming out? Do we have a date yet or a known?
2022 is what they're still saying. I'm going to already assume it's going to be pushed to 2023.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Let's just assume COVID adds a year. But that's what I got. Oh, God. Now I'm just excited about Obi-Wan. Corey, bring us home. One final question for
I
tonight's
wasn't
episode.
expecting it to be me. I've had too much wine. Somebody else use a question.
all right, I got it. Here, I'll pick our last one.
Okay.
I'll pick our last one. All right. Let's do. Oh my gosh, so many good ones. All right. Okay, this is a great, like, a big picture one. Another one from Obi-Wan, fitting. So we imagine High Republic is finished. This is question number 3. High Republic is finished. What other project would we like the Star Wars team to come up with on this scale?
Oh man,
So the
that
next
is a great
initiative.
question. The
I'm gonna
next
say mine
initiative.
because I don't want anybody to steal it.
Wes, go.
It's gonna be KOTOR. It's gonna be the whole KOTOR thing. They're gonna bring it back around.
The old Republic property, go
Yeah.
further back.
Yeah.
Back even. That's not
On
bad.
this
That's
scale,
great.
and I'm thinking on this scale as in a publishing initiative
Yeah.
that can spring off into other things.
Yeah, because
So,
let's assume
yeah.
5 years from now, I mean, High Republic, it's already getting the Acolyte show is touching it. Let's assume it has infiltrated visual media. Maybe there's a game. Like this is a thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a great one, Wes. That's a great one. Oh, jeez. I think mine is going to be, let's go the other direction. 200 years after Return of the Jedi. Legacy of the Force era style stuff where there's Jedi everywhere. The Empire is ancient history. I mean, they basically did that, but I'm talking now let's go on the galactic scale. Let's see what speeders and ships look like 200 years more technology. Let's see who's coming from the unknown regions.
That would be fun.
I think that's a great way to do.
I think that's in the vein of my answer too. I would like to see the chaos brought full force into known Republic space, right? Like,
yes.
So we have the clash of the chaos and like the Republic, right? So like maybe it's called the Republic Expansionary Series, right? So the Republic decides they want to expand their borders. We have a unified Republic for the first time in galactic history, and they're going to go outwards and try to get people like the Chiss, and it turns into this huge civil war between like the Republic and the unknown space, and maybe there's an unknown alien or an unknown species, kind of like
Corey,
Yuuzhan Vong that comes in. I don't know.
But there is a species. It's the Grisk.
No.
Everyone has
a
to fight
different one.
against the Grisk.
No, not that one. No. I don't want that one. I want a different
I still
one.
don't get it.
Corey wants 5 years of Grisk stories.
Thrawn Reason. That's what we'll call it. Yes.
All right. So we got the chaos. We got the old
Timothy
Republic.
just posted that in the chat. It'll be called Grisk.
Just Grisk. That's it.
Man, we hate the
Charles,
Grisk on this show, just to be clear.
It can't be about pod racing, Charles. What's your
It won't
giant
be about pod racing. I think it'll be in the vein of
Rod
what
pacing.
What Wes said. I want to see like Bane era Sith Academy. Like I want to see the equivalent of what we see with the Jedi Temple, but with the Sith. I want to see like, what kind of teaching
battle.
they're having. Like, what it meant to be a Sith before the rule of two and all those kind of things.
Listen, I gotta be honest. I don't know that there could be an announcement in Star Wars like movie or TV history that would get me more excited than a true Old Republic large scale Sith versus Jedi content. There was rumors a long time ago that was the Rian Johnson trilogy that was like rumored, which I don't know if that has totally been shelved. I mean,
he still says in every interview he's writing it. It's after Knives Out currently.
Please,
Netflix
God,
paid him
let
$10
that
million.
be an Old Republic. Like I would be so excited. I mean, that's
because they
like,
talk about the Sith War in the High Republic. Like they mention
That's true. That's true. They have. Please let that come true. Please, God.
Just giant battlefields.
All the Star Wars gods, I'm praying to you now. Rain down your blessings upon us.
Yeah.
Form of
and
Rian Johnson.
Timothy makes a great point. They also teased that era on Rebels and Malachor when we saw all the bodies. Like, I think there's definitely possibilities for it. And honestly, on that, I think the whole point is that whatever comes next, a lot of our questions have been tonight about what's coming next. Whatever it is, there's so many possibilities. It's all going to be so dope. In 2022 alone, we're getting Bad Batch Season 2, possibly Kenobi, possibly Andor. Like,
did we start a Star Wars podcast at literally the best time in Star Wars
literally
history?
the best there has ever been. How are we going to find stuff to talk about every week? Well, here's the thing.
Literally has never happened. Like, come on.
Yeah. But honestly, as we round out tonight's episode, it is all thanks to you all that are listening for. Like all of these questions, we thank you guys so much. We didn't even get through half of them. We're so excited to talk about more in the future. And we are so excited for y'all to come on that trip with us. Like we got so much more Star Wars coming up this year. So much coming next year. And it's books, it's TV. It's all around us. And to think there was 20 years with nothing. So on that, everyone, that is going to do it. for tonight's question-filled episode of The Living Force. Thank you so much for hanging out, participating. If you already support us on Patreon, we thank you so much for that support. Again, you can get signed up in time for our Patreon event on August 20th at youtini.com/Patreon. A special thank you to Cheryl Bell, OK Endar, Patrick Ortiz, and Carl Sander on our Jedi High Council, and Elizabeth Cloutier, Jason Mitchell, Freddie C., and Sally and Chris Eilerson and our Alliance High Command for your amazing support. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Eric Eilerson. Corey is at Doc Star Wars MD. Charles is at C. Henkel. Wes is at Boss West. And the show is at Living Force Pod. A special thank you to Matt Davenport, our amazing editor. Ryan, our graphic designer extraordinaire. And Wes, our producer and community manager. Thank you to Corey, Charles, and Wes for podcasting with me. Thanks to all of you for watching and listening. And as always, may the Force be with you.